Anyway, I had stopped working around that time. This was a little bit before last year. This was like I had to stop working. I came back in the summer, started working about August, and then stayed working up till November. When I stayed working up till November, this happened in November. I continued to try to get another job at Gainesville Health and Fitness, but that case, those two prior issues that I had affected my eligibility to work, I guess greatly or something. Anyway, I had went to another job, trying to get a job at the Subway that was right down the road from Florida School of Massage. They don't run their store right. They try to run it with one person the entire time. Cops have even come in and told them they're not supposed to have only one person in the store at one time because the safety hazards of people being able to rob the place or the employee robbing the place and there being no witnesses, things like that. So I started working, and this is like a little bit right after my child was born. I had already applied, got it accepted into going to the Florida School of Massage. It was supposed to start on May 4th or 6th, but or 15th, one of those days. It was started in May. I had me a job. My baby's mother was complaining that she didn't get to see me a lot, that my child didn't get to hardly see me a lot, in which her caseworker at that time told her she so-called wasn't allowed to see me or I wasn't allowed to see my child. I was only getting paid like 7.20 something, and I was working closing hours. They wouldn't even give me um full time to work. Like school was from 8 in the morning till 2:30. I would go in around 6 and then work till supposed to be like, depending on the day, 1 to 2 in the morning. They say we get an hour to close, but told me that they always want us out within 30 minutes. Now, but this is all I'm supposed to do in 30 minutes. What it's supposed to take a person, two people, a whole hour to do, or an hour and 30 minutes, depending on the nights. They was like, you can have a little bit of extra time or whatever. Anyway, it was way too stressful. I was dealing with way too much at the time, so I had to stop doing that. I had went to apply for financial help so that she would have some help while I was going to the Florida School of Massage and doing what I could to get things together. I had bought my baby can read thing, which is up in my closet. I bought this really nice baby bed. There was a baby bed, a baby crib, a changing table, had a little soft bassinet for her with her being so little, bought a little swing for her, got a little baby bed type thing for like in the shower for her to lay back on while you wash her. Bought her clothes, all different types of stuff. Well, my baby's mother went and let most of that get destroyed. My child threw up in her crib one day after my baby's mother came and took the baby's bed from over here. She threw up in it, and then my baby's mother was being too lazy to clean it up. Well, the next time she went to go grab it to use it, she was getting it, and first off to come over here, which she knows we're not supposed to have contact right now, otherwise she can get my child taken from her as well as she could get me put in jail. Well, she was coming over here, and my grandma would always tell me when she was coming over here so I could go to my other grandma's house so wouldn't be around her. I do have proof that she was over here and everything. Like, for instance, my child had gotten strep throat, got bad diaper rash, and some type of infection. And I'm wondering, how did she get an infection, the type of infection she had on her stuff, because it had a bunch of bumps on her, and which my baby's mother had the same thing on her, and she had gotten it from whatever dude she was with. So I'm wondering, how did my child get it too? But she was like, oh, it could have happened while they was in the shower. Well, anyway, I kept going over to my black grandma's house. I got the medicine here still because she accidentally left it here because she was so-called getting some more or something. She wasn't worried about it. Um, I'm so tired. because of me not being able, not have worked since then, and then with me going to jail and then getting out, it's like when they do the whole interview thing, I'm not the type of person to lie. I'm gonna tell them exactly what happened, all this other different stuff. Well, until this court stuff goes over, I'm out of luck. My great grandpa has a bunch of land in a bunch of different areas and has quite a bit of money, but he like he's always had it and given it out to the family as they needed it, and they would pay him back when they can because if they needed some help or whatever. Well, his he has 2 daughters and 1 son. Out of his 2 daughters, my grandma is the middle child, and her sister, the oldest one, has since for like the longest has always been trying to control his money, trying to make sure that she's left with everything and all that. So now that he's getting kind of old and starting to forget, if I was to ask him, could I get some money to get a lawyer or whatever, they would first, both my grandma and her have tried to stop me from asking him for money to do stuff in the past, and which I was at the time able to pay him back. It wasn't my fault that other things happened, but anyway, now it's like my charges with the whole point system is like I can be if found guilty, I can be put in prison. Now this is my first offense, and for my plea deal, there one of the things in it was that I would have to do 4 years of probation. This is my first offense. Not only that, but I didn't do the stuff that they said I did. I was not read me my rights, and they didn't tell me what I was being arrested for or what I was being charged with before taking me to jail. I was told that yes, they do have to read my rights only if they ask me questions. They had started asking me questions as soon as they got there. They started asking me and my baby's mother's questions. They didn't tell me what I was being charged with, in which that gave them enough time to come up with extra things to charge me with. A lot of people around town have been in this system of like dealing with the same people. I've heard personal experience, plenty of them from Miss Linda Haddad, which they said if she really believed in it, or if this wasn't a main case that they was really trying to win for the state, then she would, or like if there was a case that was going on that would get them more money or get them more whatever, then they would take that case and then they would just pretty much, she would fight for me just enough to make the point, make sure everybody says that I'm innocent. But like they also said, they go to this place and put a talk about it to put on a good show. When they talk to you, they sit there and they're like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they already have in mind what exactly they're going to do, which I found out the places that they so-called go to and showed up, and yeah, all the public defenders, attorneys, public attorneys, the prosecutioner people, and the judges were there. I was like, okay, wow. It's really jacked up how the law works. Like, for instance, that same night that I bailed out of jail was like in the middle of the night. On the way home, I saw this dude on the side of the road being stopped. He was on a bike. He was being stopped, and there was 3 cops around. One of them was telling all the witnesses, go back in their houses and don't be there. That way they wouldn't have witnesses as to what really happened, and that way also the cops could say, because there's 3 of them, oh, everybody's so going to listen to the cops and believe that what the cops are saying was right and that they're not lying. Well, that's pretty much how they're trying to work this over with me. They're going to have cops get together and say that certain things were said that wasn't said, or all different types of stuff. And it's really jacked up. And there was like, witnesses don't have to make witness statements right then and there, which means, so later in life,